In a world where AI threatens humanity, one man travels back in time to stop it from ever starting. Although his target is a mere 6 blocks away, AI isn't going down without a fight, and it's throwing everything at him. From armed hitmen to a giant cat made entirely of other cats, you have to be prepared for anything. Director Gore Verbinski leads you through layers of trauma, laughter, and outright heroism. With an ensemble cast led by Sam Rockwell, this film will leave you feeling like Marty McFly is Neo in a John Connor simulation. Good luck, have fun, don't die. An earnest plea from a not-so-distant future. Or past.
Good luck, have fun, don't die. Don't say that when you're leaving a movie theater. That's all I'm saying.
You don't want them to have good luck or fun or not die? What are you talking about?
I know when we were walking out and then Sammy said, good luck, have fun. And then she almost didn't say, don't die. I was like, she wants us to die.
I mean, she said it to me quite quietly.
She's like, he's okay. He'll be all right.
He'll be all right, yeah. Some people just aren't going to make it, you know.
He was never going to make it. She leans over to you, Tufts. He was never going to make it. You start to say, don't die. He's never going to make it.
He's not ready.
All right. Welcome to the Burnt or Buttered podcast, where we talk about movies every week. I'm Stetson.
And I'm Toast.
And this week we saw Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. That was good. It was a good take.
Yeah. And we're not doing it again.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of marketing for this, or if there was, I didn't see it.
I remember seeing a couple trailers for it, and I was interested from the trailer, but I did forget about it. Like, especially it being released. I didn't know that it was going to be released the week that it was released. Looking at the movies that were available to see, it kind of just blends in there. You know, it really didn't stick out to me. But I'm really glad that we went and saw it.
Yeah. When we went and saw it, I kind of went in blind. Didn't know that it was directed by Gore Verbinski, Hollywood legend.
Tell me more.
Maybe if you were born in the 80s or 90s, you might remember a little vehicle called Mouse Hunt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Or Mouse Hunt or Mouse Trap?
Mouse Hunt, where it's the two guys in the mansion. And
That's a gem that most people don't know.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying, if you were born in that era, you know about it and you love it.
Man, those actors, I don't know, I can't remember their names, but they're hilarious.
Yeah. Still, I mean, I forget, I have his face, but I can't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like those guys are still hamming it up.
Yeah, so he directed that. What else did he do?
You may also remember a series of movies called The Pirates of the Caribbean.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gore Verbinski.
Dang.
Let's see. If you're me, you'll probably remember being terrified and having nightmares of a little movie called The Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like 12 years old when I saw that. I watched it. Man, what a story. What a story.
Back when cassettes were a thing, or VHSs, I mean.
Oh, man. Yeah. We're watching The Ring on VHS. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
This guy's going for the puns today.
Anyways, Gore Verbinski, a long legacy of bangers.
Yeah. And this felt reminiscent to Everything Everywhere All at Once to me.
Uh-huh.
Similar vibes. different story, obviously, way different types of stories.
Yeah.
But similar to me.
The tone very similar.
The tone felt cool, fun, different, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This movie's very interesting. I thought the script super good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I mean, and Sam Rockwell freaking destroys this movie in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. You talked about the writing being really good, so let's talk about the writer.
Mm-hmm.
The writer, man, what a day it's been. The writer is Matthew Robinson, and he is known for such movies as The Invention of Lying with Ricky Gervais.
Oh, that's a good one.
They co-wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
And Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
Dang, that's
and several others. I just haven't seen them, so I'm going based off of the movies I've seen that he's written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one was really good. I wish that I was, kind of a fly on the wall as this movie was being made. I want to know the ins and outs, the decision making on everything, because it felt like everything was purposeful. I ended up seeing this movie a second time before we did this review, and the entire time watching the movie, I just felt that way, that there's so much purpose in most everything that's being done. And the second time watching it, you're looking for the character, because the reveal of the characters comes as a surprise the first time you watch. The second time, I'm looking for them in the diner. I'm seeing them as they're in the background of what's happening. I'm looking for things that isn't being said that's still moving this story along. And it made it to me like that much multidimensional of thinking all these people are experiencing this for the first time. The only one person that's not experiencing this for the first time is Sam Rockwell's character. And me being in there, this is now my second time experiencing it. What am I going to do differently? Type idea. It was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like, there's been a lot of these movies, especially in the last few years, where you get retries, right? Like, Until Dawn, Live, Die, Repeat, or whatever it is.
Final Destination.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's a lot of these movies where you get retries, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good choice in this one to not show us all of the retries, or even show us any of them, just allude to them or mention that they happened or drop knowledge because you know about it from another try. I felt like that made it so much more of a cohesive story, and also led you to still wonder later in the movie, is this guy just crazy or is this real?
Yeah, the first time you're watching it, you're constantly thinking that. You're constantly thinking, like, is this guy just crazy? Is this just a homeless dude coming off the street convincing everyone to go on this crazy adventure? And throughout the whole movie, that question is always there. And it's because of that beauty of not showing us any of the other attempts. At the end of the movie, we're starting the movie again with the knowledge of the previous attempt. Everyone in the restaurant, in the diner, is back where we were when we started the movie initially. And there's something beautiful about that we're going through this story for the first time, just like every other person in the diner is. And it's hard. It was something I constantly had to remind myself that the main characters of this movie have not experienced this before. Yeah. They have no knowledge. They have no real, true understanding that this is happening. And there is a point of the movie where they start questioning that. They had just gotten past some the people trying to, I don't know, the police, I think. They just gotten past the police. They're in a parking garage.
Yeah.
And one of the guys is like, this guy's just crazy. I'm going to grab this bat. We'll just beat him and get out of here. Like, whatever.
It's a mannequin leg, but yeah.
A mannequin leg, whatever it is. And Rockwell comes out and he's like, I could show you some parlor tricks where convince you guys that I'm from the future, but I don't need to do that. Like, just believe me and let's go. And then he's like, you guys are free to go. Like, if you don't believe me or whatnot, just, we can part ways. You can be done with this. We made it past the diner. All good. And then they decide to go on with him, and then he calls back. He's like, "Your right pocket, 43 cents." And he looks into it, and he's like, "Oh, freak! All right, yeah, I gotta go." But that was interesting. But even after that part, you're still wondering, like, is he really a guy from the future?
Or even if he's from the future, does he have the right intentions? Does he have the right knowledge? You know? Like, is this some weird underground resistance that doesn't want good stuff for the rest of the world? You don't know this guy. Nobody knows this guy.
No. And why is it that it's just random average people that are going to save the world?
Yeah.
That's what's interesting about this too, is that it's just random, interesting, not even necessarily interesting people, just random people in a diner that are going to save the world from AI.
Which I almost think that he got sent there, right? And then the AI started fighting back against him on the first try. And he's like, oh, shoot, I'm going to need some help. And then he went to the diner, saw who was there, obviously one person in particular. And he's like, I'm just going to keep coming here and like pulling people. But he's never going to use her because she's precious, right? Like,
yeah. That is one question that we don't know. Like, how did he end up at the diner for this spot to be the spot that he magically goes back to every single time? Like, because it seems like it's almost like a Back to the Future scenario where he chose specifically that time, 10:10 on that day.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you choose 6 years before that or whatever?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He chose that spot specifically for something, but that's something that we don't know, I don't know if we have to. Well, and that brings me into my other theory, I guess. My theory potentially is that Sam Rockwell's character, what's his name? Do you know his name?
In the credits, it's just the man from the future.
Man from the future, yeah. He never really says his name, but Sam Rockwell's character potentially he's in the future and he's a kid. His mom just got blown up. He walks over to the VR set, puts on the VR set, becomes part of the AI's world. And the AI has created this scenario for him that he has developed this game in his own world that gives him purpose to try and stop the world from AI and be with his mom again. And that he's just playing this game that the AI has
it's never going to end.
And it's never going to end.
Yeah.
He will forever be stuck in this game that the AI has created specifically for him that he doesn't realize is part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you might be right. I had similar theories at the end of it. Mm-hmm. And it does come across, I've mentioned in the synopsis, it comes across as like Marty McFly is in the Matrix as Neo, mm-hmm. In a John Connor scenario, where he has to stop the Terminators from being created. He's John Connor, right? But he's actually Neo. He just doesn't know. He hasn't had the pill yet, and so he can't get out of the Matrix but he's trying to stop the Matrix from ever being created.
Yeah. And what I think why it makes sense to me is because he is the only character in the movie.
Yeah.
Everyone else is essentially NPC that's expendable. He's like, I'm the only one that can't die. Everyone else can die.
Yeah.
For this mission, I'm the only one that can't die.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally reaches the end of the game. He finally beats it after 117 tries, and then he just makes up a new game.
Yeah, because it's too good. It's too good of an ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it didn't work. He just like, this world, yeah, it's not real.
Yeah. But none of it is, man. None of it. It doesn't matter how many times you click your little button. You're not going to break out of the matrix.
No matter how many times you respawn, you're never going to pass this level.
You need to take the red pill.
You just need to take the mask off your face. He's like some like giant like fat guy just sitting in a chair.
Or he's just 6 years old still.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I honestly thought that could have been the end of the movie, was his 6-year-old self, like him pushing the button and his 6-year-old self, like, taking off the headset. But
could have been.
I don't know.
I guess we should get back to talking about the filmmaking real quick. The suit that Sam Rockwell was wearing, it took 6 people to put him in and out of it, apparently. And it was between 30 to 40 pounds, he said.
Dang.
Including it had multiple batteries for a cooling system because it was so heavy and like warm. You probably saw that it had a catheter hanging. Not a real catheter, he said.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect so.
Well, some of these method actors, you never know. The actress who played Ingrid was Haley Lou Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that she actually, to get into character, tried to go without technology for the 3 months of as much as she could, obviously.
Yeah.
Like you get your call sheets every morning, she was saying, and so you have to get on technology and look.
So you're saying she didn't do it?
Yeah, I mean, she's not allergic to technology. But she did say that her screen time went from like a few hours a day to 30 minutes per day, So these method actors, man.
Seriously. What are they thinking? But no, I mean, everything came together. The only part that, I don't know, it kind of added to the movie where all the characters that weren't like super big actors, they all die.
Yeah.
And you're just like, that they are going to be the ones that die, but at the same time, it was kind of too obvious. But then the joke at the very end where he's like, Scott was never going to make it. Everyone knew that he was never going to make it because he wasn't one of these big name actors. It made that joke way more funny to me, where it was like, everyone already knew.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my only gripe with the movie, like I didn't mind that really.
Mm-hmm.
My only gripe was, and we talked about it after the movie. Most of these people in that diner that joined him should have joined way quicker because they've all had crazy experiences that day.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. And where I think that their experiences weren't crazy because they become normal.
But they're portraying it as crazy to these people. Like the mom, that's the first time her child has died,
Yeah.
And so she's reacting to that.
Well, and there was a pretty big expansive time there, because her son gets killed, then she gets the clone, then she goes to the party. So there's like, a month or so for it to become like normal.
But the whole time that they're showing her story, she's acting like, wow, everybody's acting really weird.
Yeah.
Like she should be susceptible to what this guy's saying, even no matter how crazy it is. But the teachers, they're the ones that I'm most mad at for not immediately jumping on this, because they were chased down by children being controlled by phones.
Yeah.
They witnessed it. They figured it out. They used their little beam guns to kill the phones.
Well, and that's what's interesting, and something that's not really explained in the movie is that like for 117 times, is he coming back to the same universe or is he coming back to other universes? Because what's interesting about this particular universe that he comes into on this 118th time is these experiences that these people's had that we're seeing. Because I can't help but think there wasn't 117 times that the mom in the back of the restaurant didn't listen to her son that said, follow the guy that comes into the restaurant.
Yeah.
I think that that's something new for this 118th time. And so it makes sense that it also begs the question that, like, for all the other 117 times, were there other people in the restaurant that had equally weird experiences that made them volunteer for that particular day or that particular try?
Yeah.
That was the only question mark, is that, is all this happening the same way every single time that he comes into the diner, or is it different? I think it had to have been different, because
With her, for sure.
yeah, and if she's different, then every single time has to be different, like a different universe, parallel universe. Is he going back to the past, or is he jumping into different universes? That's kind of a question that I have.
Or is it all just a simulation? And
Yeah.
they've never been, this is just a matrix, dude.
And that's where it goes back to the idea that none of it's real. Like, the whole thing's created for him to be playing a game inside of the AI's world.
Right.
And so that's where there's two lines where it's either it's real and he's from the future, and like he's jumping into different universes. So same technical area, there's very similar things, but different world every single time. And that would make sense, because he's like, I have no idea what's going to come. It's different every single time.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's, whatever. And then what I caught on the second viewing was the, kitten, the cat full of kittens that sprays glitter, that's half centaur or whatever.
Yeah.
That was that, like, they're the ones that brought that up, and he's like, horrible prompt,
Yeah.
Like type idea, which makes me think that maybe he knows that he's in the AI's world.
Or he's experienced them saying things and then that manifesting.
Yeah.
But it does,
That means that the AI is omniscient and like is hearing, knows everything that's happening all at once.
Well, so her son, who's talking to her throughout the movie, is actually the AI. My personal theory is that they're in a simulation. The AI got tired of him not even being able to make it to the house, and they were like, let's give him a little help. And they thought that he would just accept it, be like, cool, it's over, I'll let myself die. And then I feel like this was all just a setup.
So AI was trying to get him to stop trying.
Yeah.
So
because he's Neo, dude.
Because eventually he's gonna do it. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, there's so many different lines of thought in this movie, which when Shelby and I went and saw it, we left the theater, and there was this guy. He was probably early 60s, and he was there alone. We're walking out at the same time. He like looks back. He's like, "It's the best movie I've seen in a long time."
Whoa!
And he's like, "Freaking weird, but really good." And that's what I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like one of those movies, like what's it called?
Everywhere, everything, everywhere, all at once.
Everything, everywhere, all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once was bundled into something that was digestible for every single person, and that's why it won as much awards as it did, and like is as good as it is.
Yeah.
I feel like this is, to me, I don't know if it's on the exact same level, but definitely on the same tier, but it's just more niched on the people that are going to really, really enjoy it and dive all into it.
Yeah. I think that they do a lot of good stuff as far as making it relatable to people. They bring in a lot of these ideas without, they make it so absurdist, and they're not like being political about it. They're not saying like this is one party's problem.
Yeah.
They're saying this is a systemic, world problem. And they do such a good job. To me, it kind of felt like a mix of Terminator and The Matrix and Eddington, surprisingly. where it takes
It all comes back to Eddington.
well, it takes these realistic problems, like these things that we're seeing in real life, and then it twists them to an absurdist way. You know?
Yeah, I can see that. I think Rockwell's speech in the first 5 minutes of the movie is kind of the only political part of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of it's just fun, you know, and the whole speech sets the tone throughout everything. And it's kind of an uncomfortable monologue for the audience, at least for me. You're sitting there and you're hearing all these things and you're just like, yeah, he's right, but I don't like that he's right, you know, type idea. And all comes down, like he's kind of just making you feel really bad, you know. But it all makes sense. Yeah.
It's a mirror to society, and that's why it feels uncomfortable, is because we're all guilty of some of it, you know.
Yeah, like it all started with people just checking their emails in the morning emails. So like just looking at your phone in the morning, and the next thing you know,
it's 10 hours.
I mean, and the highlight of stuff was interesting. I mean, even the school teacher, when he's looking over the shoulder of the girl scrolling, and she just types out die or something like that, like something, I don't know, like whatever she says to the person, and just types it really fast and just keeps going, and it's like no emotion to it at all. And you're like, oh my gosh, like that's so crazy.
Yeah.
But that's real. You know, like that's how we treat people and how we view things. Of just like, there's no consequence to anything that we do. It's just like we do it. We throw something out there that is going to have effect on somebody, but we don't ever feel the consequences of that effect, and we don't care about the consequences of that effect.
Yeah. Because there aren't, in that world, there are not consequences.
I mean, even in our world, there really isn't that much consequence to. But
I'm even saying, like, these school shootings that they're having, there are no consequences because they just bring you a clone.
Well, and even kind of the school shooting thing was interesting, but it came to the idea that it was almost like cancer, you know, where cancer's become profitable, and so we kind of don't want this to stop as a business. And so let's figure out how we can wrap this up and package it in something that's not as bad as it actually is. And it really comes down to like the people that are getting clones, and they're like, oh yeah, the shooters, like they get clones for free. You know, like they get them back, and like there's only 70% chance that they don't do it again, you know, type idea. And that was interesting, where it was like, oh, like they're trying to recreate this so that they're doing it for free. The government's doing it for free so that this continues to happen. So now we have a population that is doing ad spend like in their homes, like for their parents nonstop.
Which, again, I think we're in a simulation, so it's the AI doing all of this, and making its own AI army. But yeah, it reminded me of, I don't know if in like 7th grade you read a thing by Jonathan Swift called A Modest Proposal. So Jonathan Swift was an Englishman, and it was during like the Irish uprising against England like taking them captive and whatnot. And during the famine, right, the potato famine, the Irish were complaining like, we don't have anything to eat. And the British, or Jonathan Swift, wrote a paper called A Modest Proposal saying they should just sell their kids to the wealthy elite so that they can eat them, you know, like, and then they'll have enough to eat, or they can even eat their own children, you know. And that's where a lot of like political satire stems from, is from this A Modest Proposal. And so it felt kind of reminiscent of that, where it's like, oh, we've got this problem where people are going crazy and killing other people. We'll just clone them. It's not a big deal. Cannon fodder, you know. And that's how basically everybody in this movie is treated, other than Sam Rockwell.
What's interesting too is that the adults, you know, in this world are willfully blind to the world. You know, like the kids are slowly becoming integrated into the AI's army, or they already are.
Yeah.
The only ones that are awake are the adults that didn't grow up with a technology in their hands. But they're also like willfully being ignorant to like what's happening.
Yeah.
In the movie, at least, which you can kind of see it, in some relation to the world right now. I don't know. It was a mind bending movie to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a super interesting movie. I knew it was going to be good from the opening shots. Even before we get Sam Rockwell's character introduced, they have these shots and it's all just people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was how they introduced who's going to be in the movie, kind of, was who's got a phone in their hand versus who's doing something else with their hands. But then I was wrong because they showed like the waitress and the chef doing things and that they weren't really in it.
Yeah. I thought it was shot really, really well. The storytelling was awesome. The angles and dialogue were really fun. Sam Rockwell's performance was a masterclass. So much dynamic acting, between everybody. It was I thought it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Super fun watch. Lots of good stuff about it. I was just going to say one more thing. I feel like you said something that sparked me. Oh yeah. With how it was shot, one of the things that Gore Verbinski specifically said was that he didn't want to rely on CGI. So they actually built sets like norms. That's not just on a street somewhere. That's in a studio. They built that whole thing, including the exterior.
Crazy.
And then when they did use CGI, they would use practical things, like with the wires and stuff. That was also a set that they had built.
Okay.
And there was a huge pile of wires that the kid was sitting on top
Oh,
of.
wow.
But then obviously when wires start moving and stuff, they had to use CGI. And Verbinski's rule was that at least half of the frame had to be real, photographic, because then it gives you something to build off of rather than just having to imagine the whole world. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could feel that. I mean, it felt very together. It didn't feel fake. It didn't feel overly created.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, that was one cool thing that I thought from the filmmaking. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else to say, or you want to get into ratings?
Yeah, let's rate it.
Okay, go for it.
All right.
That way you can't point one up me again.
Let's see. I am going to say, for me, this movie is a 4.4. I think it's really, really good. It's a movie that you'll ponder and think about for a while. It's a movie that has so many different endings that it could be that are fun to think about. Sometimes there's movies that there's a ton of different endings that kind of just all piss you off, where you're like, none of these really satisfy me, where most of the theories that I have about this movie satisfy some version of the movie for me. And it makes me kind of want to see more of this story, or somebody tell me which one's right of all the theories that I have, or give me some sort of clue that leads me there. In any case, the story's super strong. The characters are really great. The writing's amazing. The performances just are worth seeing. And so rewatchability, I already seen it twice. So yeah, 4.4.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. Maybe even all of it. I don't know. We'll find out. really fun, like you said. The characters were great. The reveals of the characters and their backstories were really fun. You get a lot out of a little, you know. They don't feel like they have to explain everything to you, which then I feel like leads you to question so much of it afterwards and want to dive deeper and look for other resources that'll tell you more information about it. And I think that's what's great about it, is it gets you thinking. Even if you don't like agree with the ideas that are presented, it gets you thinking about the world. It gets you thinking about technology. It gets you thinking about like ethics. And so I think that that's pretty cool. And so I'm going to give it a 4.5.
You know what? I gave it a 4.4 just so you could give it a 4.5. Just so you could point one me. I knew exactly where you were going. Didn't want us to have the same rating.
I had to do it. I had to do it to you.
But yeah, this is definitely one of the better ones of the year so far. We're early 2026 and we've seen some really, really standout movies.
I watched an interview with, I think it was with Sam Rockwell, who was saying that we've got to go hard in the movies right now to get people to come back to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's why we're having an unprecedented January and February.
Yeah. Which I feel like they need to do a better job getting them out there. Like, I don't know if we need to change our marketing. It's just like, take a lesson from A24 and Timothée Chalamet and learn how to market a dang movie in 2025, 2026. Come on, people. Because
dress in orange.
This is like worth it. This movie is worth seeing, and people need to know that it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know how to solve that mystery, but I know Marty Supreme figured it out.
Bone Temple didn't.
Bone Temple didn't, which is a tragedy.
Which is absurd.
Yeah. Toast one and only like recorded 5.0. The best that there is.
That's the tippity tops.
Come on. But yeah, more people need to hear it. I mean, just like Caught Stealing got lost. And that was not a movie to sleep on.
Yeah.
Come on. Figure it out.
Yeah, go. You know what? Go see a movie this week.
Go see a movie this week. Just go do it.
Yeah, just type in showtimes near me, you know, and look for the closest theater.
If it's a Regal theater, you could even get an unlimited pass.
You could. Just go see a movie this week.
Just go see one. Matinee.
Why not? Bring your mom.
All right. Well, we'll see you in the next one.